Hi, welcome back to On the Volley, or as we're otherwise known, OTV. My name's Matt. I'm just going to go through a little bit of, because we've had quite a lot of football since we last did a cast all together in terms of the Premier League. Just going to go through a little bit of the football that's happened since then. And it's been an amazing week, really. There's been some absolutely cracking games, cracking goals, cracking results going on this week. So what I'm going to start with, because I've not done this before, I want to start with Manchester City and their week. Being a Manchester City fan, I feel I should maybe talk a little bit more about our club. So I'm going to start with it because what an exceptional week Bernardo Silva's had. Scored 3 goals in the 2 games, 2 absolute beauties, The goals at the weekend, this weekend against Watford, were again class goals. Really persistent. His low finish into the bottom corner, and then cutting inside and finishing with his left into the top corner. But his goal against Villa was an absolute delight to watch. This guy is an absolute star. I mean, he's unbelievable. 2 years ago, we saw that, and then last year he had a bit of a lull, sort of like all season really, and it was quite hard to understand why that was happening. But he's come back with force this year. For me, he's the player of the season so far for City. There are obviously some other candidates in there as well. Ruben Diaz obviously solidifying the defence still. I think Kyle Walker is actually having a great season. Grealish has come in. He's done all right. He's done okay. Foden, obviously, a brilliant talent. Still one to watch. But yeah, Bernardo Silva for me at the moment is unstoppable. He can't put a hand on him. People aren't even laying a glove on him. It's absolutely brilliant to watch. So yeah, wanted to get that about City first because I don't really talk that much about them, and they deserve credit. They deserve a lot of credit, City, because they're playing some exceptional football. All right, yes, there is the money element which people will always bring up, but it's great to watch those players play together under Guardiola, and I'm no embarrassment to say that my team are one of the best in the world, and I'm really happy to be able to watch them do that. But I'm going to go on. I'm going to move on because there's been a lot of Premier League action this week. Newcastle, luckily today yesterday got their first win of the season. Not luckily because they actually deserved it, but luckily in terms of they needed it. They really needed that result. This out of the 2 games, Norwich and Burnley, they didn't lose any further ground on those teams as well. As a result of that, we've drawn with Norwich and then. And beating Burnley. Burnley drew on the Thursday night. On the Wednesday night, I believe, with Wolves. So they've not lost any further ground in the teams around them. Obviously, what's more important is that 4th bottom place, 17th place in the Premier League, which is Watford, who have lost 2 games. Obviously, one against City, one against Chelsea. I mean, not easy games for them. Let's face it. When you're down at the bottom, that's the last 2 teams you want to be facing when you're sort of like hanging over the precipice. I've said before, Ranieri it's going to be a roller coaster with them. They've had good results against Manchester United. Beating them 4-1, that was great. Beating Everton 5-2 as well. 2 really good results, but it's not enough at the moment under Ranieri. I think he's being charged now for 7 or 8 games, and he's won 2 of them, and lost the rest basically. So it's he's looking like he's probably on the brink considering Watford's turnover of managers. It's a shame because he's such a nice guy. He is a really nice guy, and I think everyone at Leicester would be testament to that. Obviously winning the title with Leicester as well, which is probably his greatest achievement as a manager. It's a shame, but I think he's going to be looking over his shoulder at Watford. They're not people who keep patience with the manager, although he is an Italian as well, so maybe he'll get a bit more a little bit more leeway. So yeah, going on. I'm going to go into Aston Villa now because actually Aston Villa also plays City. So these are games I've watched. Watched today's game against Leicester, 2-1. Lost 2-1 to City. Played a very good second half against City. Gerrard's really turned that team around. Dean Smith, I thought, was a decent manager. I really do, and I still think he's a decent manager. A local lad, so I thought he had all the respect to the players. But Gerrard's come in and he's done something unique. He's really got them playing. The front three play really well together. In today's game, what I saw, yes, okay, sometimes they were pressed back, but when they broke out, the link-up play between them, they seem to have a really good understanding and created quite a lot of chances. You got quite a few. They put the ball on the back of net 4 times. One of them was, I think a bit harsh actually, that they got the goal ruled out, being kicked out from underneath Schmeichel's hand. He didn't actually kick his hand when Schmeichel was controlling it on the floor. I thought it was a little bit unlucky, but referees do protect the keepers. Let's face it. And then McGinn put one in as well, but that everyone has stopped play for what was, to me, not a foul on the touchline. I don't think he even got anywhere near the guy, and he's gone down like a sack of spuds, and McGinn's just carried on. So when they go forward, Villa do look exceptionally strong. They've really got the good link-up play. They do defend now a lot more as a unit, and that's probably where they're getting their results from. I think it's been absolutely brilliant turnaround for them, and good luck for them for the rest of the season. I think they're not going to be a team that a lot of people want to play at the moment. Absolutely. Talking a little bit about Southampton and Leicester, because they drew midweek. Southampton drew with Brighton again at the weekend, kind of getting a lot of draws at the moment. Both teams, Brighton and Southampton, actually, are getting a lot of draws at the moment. Leicester, no form this season at all. It's like win or lose. They've drawn 3, I think, but it's they've really not had any form whatsoever. Southampton again, it's sort of like a team that just need that like cutting edge basically to get those draws into wins. The same with Brighton. I keep on saying this about Brighton. I can't believe I keep on saying this about Brighton, but it is unbelievable that they're still in the top half of the table because they draw so many games and they won a few at the start of the season, which has just kept them up there. But they need to start. They need to start getting results from draws into wins because they deserve it. A lot of the time they do deserve it. It's just about finishing. Same with Southampton. Leicester, I think it's their defence that's let them down actually a little bit. They're not quite right there. They've just not got the balance in defence that they need, and maybe that's also because the midfield isn't protecting them as much as it used to, and they're getting exposed, and they're conceding a lot of goals. If you concede 2 goals every game, you're going to struggle in the season, I think, especially obviously if you're not scoring at the other end. They are scoring at the other end. They scored 4 against Watford. They scored 4 against Manchester United. So they still can score, but it's not a consistent event, them scoring. So it's so basically, yeah, if you're conceding 2 goals a game, you're going to struggle with that at the moment. Going on to Liverpool, because they deserve a mention with their amazing run that they're on at the moment, and 1-0 winners against Wolves. Some last-minute goals in the Premier League this weekend. Brighton obviously sneaking a draw at Southampton with a last-minute one in the 98th minute. Liverpool against Wolves, who defended stoutly all game. Jota had attempts on, a 1-on-2 defenders on goal, not a 1-on-1 with the keeper. Keeper was already miles out in the distance, and still managed to hit the defender. He had quite a lot of space to put it into, didn't do it. Maybe returning to your former club has some effect on that. But yeah, I mean, that was the chance for Liverpool to go ahead. They didn't actually take that, but then Origi comes on. We've seen him do it before. I think we saw him do it against Everton a couple of years ago. Came on, scored the winner in the last minute, 94th minute winner. Liverpool second in the league, 1 point behind City, going very strong and scoring a lot of goals. Not in this game, but they had the chances. Wolves defended really well, and on Wolves, I mean, I think they're having a little bit of a stutter at the moment, but they've come up against Burnley, who are stout in defence, and they obviously playing Liverpool, one of the best teams in the Premier League and in Europe at the moment. So let's give them credit where credit's due. They did well enough against Liverpool to get a point, but at the end of the day, football sometimes stings you in the backside at the last minute. On to Everton's results. Obviously, they play tomorrow. Actually, they've not played this weekend, but they lost 4-1 in the Merseyside derby midweek. They don't look like they're turning things around under Benitez. He's on. I think he's on borrowed time now. I think the Everton and keeper said basically, Benitez has been given no money. He's not spent anything in the transfer market. He's got a lot of players on loan. So it does seem like he's being used as the sort of like the scapegoat here, basically for Everton. I don't think it's really Benitez's fault that they haven't got the playing staff in there. He's just not. They've not been delved into the transfer market and backed themselves basically, and it's showing in the results. Everton fans are obviously living with Benitez, but I think some of the wiser ones are saying, well, it's not really just his fault. And I think they're probably right. It's definitely looking that way, that they just didn't back the manager in the summer, and now, this is the consequence of that. Go on to Tottenham. Tottenham under Conte. I've said before, I don't like his style of football, but, he's going to get results, and he has done so far. Drew against Everton, actually, which was a surprise last weekend, but now starting to string a few results together. Beating Norwich today, and on Thursday night, they beat Brentford as well. So, Tottenham, they were never that far off the top four places. And they're really going to. I think them and Manchester United are going to have a real good tussle here for fourth place. I think the top three are pretty much set. I think that it's shown the style of football that is being played, the results that are coming in. I think that top three, as Shah said, is pretty much set. But the fourth spot, West Ham obviously in there at the moment. Obviously beat Chelsea. But Tottenham and Manchester United are obviously going to come back stronger, I think, in the latter part of the season. From here on in, I think West Ham are going to do well if they hang on to that spot. I think. Let's see. Let's hope they keep their form up. But Tottenham, under Conte, they're going to be formidable. As are Manchester United, 2 wins. Ragnick only took charge of today's game, which they won 1-0 against Palace. Palace had a few chances in that game where they could have gone 1-0 up, but football will punish you if you don't take those chances in a tight game like that. Obviously beat Arsenal midweek. I think that was a bad result for Arsenal actually. But there's obviously this change of management with Solskjaer has rejuvenated some of these players. They're looking like they're playing like a team again now, Manchester United. So yeah, I think they're gonna be challenging top four towards the end of the season. They were in 10th before the midweek game against Arsenal. So it's a big step up, but it's a very tight league in the middle at the moment, and it's not too hard to go from even 16th in the moment in the league up to fighting for European places. So United are there. They're going to be there around about the end of the season. I think everyone's aware of that. They've got the most expensive assembled squad in English football history, I believe. So Ragnick's got a lot of players to work with there, and some ridiculous salaries as well. Why they didn't do it under Solskjaer, I don't know. He just probably wasn't the right guy. He wasn't the right guy to get them to play together. I think we said it in the past. Let's forget about that. Ragnick's come in. He's a solid manager, and he'll get results. He'll definitely get results for Manchester United. Arsenal, who were probably looking at that fourth spot this year, losing there at Old Trafford, didn't do themselves any disgrace in that game. Everton tomorrow, can they win it? Yes, absolutely. I think they're massively favourites to win that game with Everton's form. It will keep them in contention, but can they have a consistent performance throughout the season to get them into fourth place. I think they're going to struggle with Tottenham and Manchester United certainly breathing down that fourth spot. West Ham currently in it, also showing some great form, obviously with a 3-2 win against Chelsea. That's an amazing result. Chelsea had a few shockers in that game, to be honest, defensively. Defensive lapses, basically, I would say, where they've been solid all season. They've been solid all season, and I was actually very surprised that West Ham even got a goal, let alone 3, and won the game. But, you know, I'm going to end it on the West Ham, actually. Brentford, I should have spoken about Brentford first. Actually, Brentford, you know, and Leeds as well. Bamford's back for Leeds. Scored a last-minute equaliser against Brentford this weekend. I predicted it was 2-2. It was 2-2. I don't think that was a big surprise to anybody. I think most people thought it was going to be a high-scoring draw, and it's you know, great game to watch. I'm sure. I've not watched it yet. I've got to wait for the highlights to come on Italian TV. It wasn't one of the live broadcast games. I'd much rather watch that game than watching Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. But you know, I was subject to the selection of the Italian Sky. So yeah, I was going to finish on West Ham because I think that's another exceptional result they've had. They beat Liverpool 3-2. They've beaten Chelsea 3-2. You know, narrowly lost to Manchester City last weekend 2-1. Although in saying that, it was more one-sided than that result suggests. But they're still going strong. You know, they had 2 defeats, back-to-back defeats, and then have come back with that result. I think it's great what they're doing this season under Moyes. They're absolutely brilliant. West Ham fans must be loving it. A club that I think a lot of City fans feel affinity with because, you know, they've gone for a long period without any success, which we did. You know, we're in the same boat for a long period of time. Obviously, since 2011, that's changed for City. But yeah, I want to give them all the best of luck and hope they do it. Hope they get there. Hope they get in fourth. Hope they get to play in the Champions League. I think that would be brilliant to see. And you know, and it will push Manchester United, Arsenal out of that, and Tottenham out of that. I think it's going to be a very difficult task, but let's see. And with that, I hope I've not spent too little time on your team talking about it. It's just basically having watched all this football this week. It's been absolutely some amazing football to watch. Some great goals. You know, it's been a great week for the Premier League. Absolutely has. And with that, that's me, Matt. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It costs you nothing. You know, plenty of people have done it so already. It means you get the updates on our videos, basically. That's all that subscribing does. When we launch a new video, you'll get a notification. That's all it is. So please do so. And that's me, Matt, out.